everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It is, I got to look at the date, June 10th. June 10th, 2021. Welcome. I am Teresa with Keep in Touch Crafts, and we are getting together for another paper crafting tutorial here. I am going to be featuring one of our new bundles in the Stampin' Up's new catalog, and it's called Encircled in Friendship, and it's a real intricate die set that comes with that stamp set, and it just makes some real pretty cards. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and if you're familiar with it, it might be something that sparks your interest. It is just, like I said, really pretty, and it's got a die set with a stamp set, and I'll show you that very soon. Hope you're having a good week. I'm going to see if I can get my comments going here, and we are going to get started. Welcome to you who are watching live, of course, like Sam. Thanks for tuning in, Sam. Also, I appreciate those who watch on the replay. Excuse me, the replay later on and on YouTube. So hope you're doing well, and we're going to be getting to our project soon here. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn the camera down. So hang on and we'll get going. All right. Hello, let's see what we're going to start with today. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. In that catalog I'm telling you about, if you need one, let me know. I can get you a catalog. But this is the stamp set that I was talking about, and it is a bundle, so you can get a stamp set and the dies to go with it. It's called Encircled in Friendship, and that is on, hi Cindy, that's on page 70 of that catalog. And so real pretty script handwriting on there, and those dies are very lacy looking, doily kind of looking, real pretty. So you can do a lot with that set. It doesn't come with its own designer series paper or anything like that, so you can use it with anything. And so I'm going to just show you one example of a card tonight that we'll make together, and then I'm going to show you some other examples of things I've come up with this. It's, you know, you can use it for quite a few different things. So that's the set, and I'm going to bring in mine for you to see. The stamp set is this, and it says the sentiments in there are each day is a little brighter. You're in my thoughts with heartfelt thanks. Because of you, you're the best. In a world where you can be anything, thank you for being kind. And then just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today. And those are the sentiments. And then you have a couple images that you can color of, I'm not sure what kind of, if they're lilies maybe, but a couple of floral images that go with it. And then the die set, those here are the dies that come with it. There are 6 different dies, and I'll show you what those make. I cut everything out and just put it on a page here for you to kind of see a little easier. And the largest die cuts this out, and then that same largest die also cuts out this one. So we have, I can show you, that might help. The very largest one is here, and that you can just make a round image like that. But the other thing that it does, actually it doesn't do that, does it? I'm trying to remember which one. If this is the one that cuts it out, but I do know that this one, that is for this one here, does cut out this shape right there. So the nice thing about this die is it doesn't have a cutting edge on the outside, so it can just cut the image into your project. It does cut out that circle, which is this here, but you can just have that in your project without cutting it out. You can also use this die though to go ahead and cut it out, which then it looks more like this, whoops, this one right here. So that's how you do this, is it's a 2-step process. You first cut it out of your project or your cardstock this way, and then you're going to take the outside piece and cut it out that way. And then you, like I said, you also have this piece, which you can then use for some of these smaller images, or you can use that for your project. This is kind of a medium-sized one here, and then those 2 smaller images too. So they're so pretty. They can be layered together or not. A lot you can do with this set, of course. And I will show you a couple of ideas, and there are a lot more. There's a lot you can do with this. So today I will be using this one that we're not going to cut it out. We're not going to outline, cut it out. We're going to just cut it into a piece of paper. And then I am going to use the center for something. And then I'm also going to cut out some layers with just a stitched rectangle die. And I will show you that in a second. I'm going to not put that away yet because we're going to need it. So for the stamps, I'm going to be getting out a couple of stamps here. I'm going to only use black ink on this one that I'm doing, but some of my samples show other colors. And I'm going to do kind of more of a bolder, brighter card first, and then the other samples are more subtle, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to grab my supplies. What you're going to need to do this is you're going to need a base layer of cardstock. I chose for this one, I'm doing black, so it's just your 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And so I'm going to be doing it this way, a portrait card with the fold on the left. You could do it with the fold at the top if you'd rather. And I'm also using 2 of our stitched rectangle dies. These are from this set. It's a really large set I've used for, gosh, I've used this one so much. And I'm not using, let's see, so I'm using 1 and 3. So the largest, and then I'm skipping this second one, and then I'm doing the next one. And those are the 2 I'm using. If you don't have those, you don't need them. You can cut your own rectangles at the size you want. It just makes a nice square stitched rectangle for me, but you don't have to do it that way. You can cut your own rectangles easily enough. So I'm going to be getting out my die cutter, and I'll be showing you what we're going to be doing with all this stuff. I'm going to start with going ahead and cutting out. Let's take and cut out with the largest one. I'm going to take this Poppy Parade is the color, and I'm going to cut out on the stitched rectangles out of this DSP. This is our paper comes in all the different colors. This is the new design, and I'm just using the Poppy Parade with this kind of a with this pattern on it. You can probably see it. It kind of has just a real subtle, almost a plaid look to it. I'm also going to cut out the same size out of just the black. Okay, so let's go ahead. I wonder if I can do them together. What do you think? I think I dare try it. Let's get in our die cut machine. This is kind of a beast, so it takes up the whole camera angle here, but give you an idea. A lot of you have yours and you know how they work, but just in case, it's kind of nice to see them in action, I guess. Mine's kind of beat up here, and I have my glued painter's tape all ready to go to get stuff taped down if I want. I do that quite a bit. However, if you're using this magnetic one, you don't necessarily need that. And I am going to just do them separate. I decided not to be risky and do it together. So let's run it through for one of our layers, and it's going to jiggle a little bit. Sorry about that. And we're going to do that same with our black. So there you are. I was probably off camera. You can see it's got a little bit of stitching around that edge, but it's not necessary to have that. It's just kind of a nice finishing touch to it. And let's get the black here. Same thing. We are going to run that through real quick. Jiggle, jiggle. Oh, okay. And we're going to try to do a lot of this all at once, because there is a bit of die cutting here tonight on this project. And I didn't quite get it the best there, but it works. So this is going to be my front layer that we're going to be cutting out that intricate design on. And so I'm going to grab that die, and I'll show you some ways to help get it so that it cuts nice. And because when you have this intricate of a die, it sometimes is hard to get all those pieces cut just so. And so a couple of things that I've learned I will show you here. I am going to tape it into place so that I can not worry about having it in the right spot. And because what I'm going to do is put it upside down to run it through the machine here. So I'm going to tape it down a bit, and then in order, just because it's magnetic and holding it in place, but I need to flop it over. So that's why I like having that tape on there. Is if it's upside down with the cut side up, sometimes you can have better luck getting it to cut out everything a little easier. So I'm going to run this through a couple of times. Each time you do it, it gets a little bit better of a cut. And I'm going to take a look. It might be good. Let's see. So I want you to be able to see. And most of it, I think, is going to come out. I know this centerpiece did already. And it looks pretty good. I'm just not too sure. Yeah, I think it's cut all the way through. So then that is fine, and I can take that off. It's going to be kind of messy, but I'll get all those pieces out of there in just a second. Okay, you can kind of see even without doing anything, most of them fell right out, which is kind of nice. Many of you, if you've done die cutting with intricate dies before, you know that if they don't come out, that it can be a real pain. Sometimes you have to run it through again, but I think this one's going to be fine once I run my little brush over it. And so there's that die done. I'm going to clean this off a little bit. Alrighty, and then we're going to cut out a little center piece, and I'm going to use red for that. So I have this Poppy Parade red, and I am going to use the smaller one that fits. So this will fit really well right in the center there. It's actually, it'll be like that, of course, but I am going to cut this one out of red, and we'll put our sentiment in there. So that should work good. I do have some scraps in there, it looks like. But I'm going to tape this one down, but again, I'm going to put it upside down. It really does make a difference, and I found putting it more to one side or another sometimes helps as well, rather than just in the middle. So there's once and twice. I usually go back and forth a couple times and then check on it. And it looks good. Looks really good. So if you can see that. Ooh, and I'm going to get all those little pieces out of there so that you'll be able to, it'll be a nice clean cut. Works really well to put it upside down. I'm just amazed how well that works. So I'm just using the Big Shot. I don't have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine yet, but if you have the Big Shot, I know that you can just use the magnetic platform and then 2 of your plates, cutting plates, and like I said, have it upside down, and it comes out really well. So let's see if we want to do any other. I think that's it for, oh, one more. I know what I wanted. For the inside layer, I am going to clean this off, and that other rectangle piece I wanted to cut out in red. So I have another piece of the Poppy Parade, and that piece is roughly, I gotta find it here. This inner red, inside red piece is roughly 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So I had kind of written my notes on there. So you have a black base, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. You also have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 black for that layer that we cut out in the rectangle for the front. And we also cut in that intricate die on that one. Then you have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 in the Poppy Parade DSP, and that's for the front. And then 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 Poppy Parade for the inside. And then I had another 2 by 2 piece of Poppy Parade for this little medallion piece that we cut out. So we are gonna do this one now. When they're larger like this, as most of you probably know, if you do any die cutting, these are simple. Like when it's just these outside ones, woo, shaky. Once is generally just fine to get to cut it out, which you can see it cut it out just fine. So that one's done. And I think that's all of our die cutting, unless we choose to do some in a little bit for like a banner for some sentiments or something, but I think I'm gonna not do that. Okay, so let's go back here and get everything tidied up. That big machine just like makes a mess. And you know me, I'm all neat and tidy all the time. All right, so let's get our stuff and start assembling. All right, that's the inside, and I don't need the dies anymore, so I'm going to put the dies back in my little die holder so I don't lose them, because, you know, I would. And I have, oh, here they are. I have like these magnetic sheets that I get from Stampin' Storage, and some people get, they get the vent covers from like, Walmart. Not Walmart might have them, but some kind of a home improvement store, those magnetic vent covers that you can get. This time of year they might not carry them though, but those are real nice to also use if you don't want to spend. These are not too cheap, but they're really sturdy and nice. You can even put your stamps on the other side of this, so they are nice. But that's kind of what I use for storage on those, and then I just stick it right in here like you probably saw. Let's get this back where it goes. All right, let's take a look at our pieces now and see if anything needs some cleaning. I usually use the back side of my Stampin' Pierce mat, I think they call it, and that is what I use to get these little bits out of there. And I use this little scrubber, and it's like just this little tool that came with it, and you can just kind of scrub it in there like that, and then that gets those pieces to come out. And you can go on the other side. I'm hoping that I cut it well enough that they're going to come out, and of course I have some that's not cooperating a little. Typically, you know, when I'm doing it myself, I would maybe have gone through a time or two more, because it does make a difference, but this is pretty good. I just have a couple little stubborn guys here that I'm going to get out of there. There, yay. You might not be able to see that very well. You can see that that's came out real nice. And so that's that piece all cleaned out of all the little bits and stuff. This red one had a little bit in it. Not too much. Kind of flick it a little, it kind of helps. And let's see. I have one, oh, there we go. So that's nice and cleaned out as well. And what else do we got? I think that was it for the ones that needed kind of a little encouragement, I guess you'd say. And then for stamping, so how we're going to do this is going to layer like that. I see I have a little piece I need to trim right there. Okay. So this is going to go over this so that it shows through on our design. And in the center, we're going to have this piece with our message on it. And then I am going to sponge a little bit of black around the outside edge of this piece just to give it a little, kind of tie in the red and the black together. And so that is the stamping for that part. So on the front, I've gotten this out. Whoops, hello. I thought I would do You're the Best. And so I have that image here that I'm going to stamp on there. And then I have some other sentiments I wanted to put on here. Each day is a little brighter, so with heartfelt thanks. So you're the best? No, because of you is the one I wanted. No wonder it didn't make sense. Gotta have the right coupled up here. So we have because of you, and then each day is a little brighter. And then on the inside, it's with heartfelt thanks. So So it's a thank you, and it has like 3 different sentiments on it. I don't have my label on here the best, so the actual, it's going to be actually centered in here, which is where we want it, but I probably didn't do the best job when I got that one ready. I'm going to get my black ink. I use that one, the Memento Black. I am also grabbing my blends markers. I have that same Poppy Parade as the color we're using. And I have a little extra strip of this Designer Series paper for the inside. And I'm going to use some of the black organdy glittered ribbon, which I love this. It's so pretty. But use whatever you have to match, and you can get that to work well. This one was, I think I said that, yeah, glittered organdy ribbon. It's 3/8 of an inch wide, and it's kind of sheer with a bit of a, like a silver flecks on there, silver glitter. Okay, so we are going to do a little stamping. Let's stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it on the paper first just to see how it looks. Yep, looks good. One nice thing, I just want it centered. I don't have to worry about it being straight, so I can just make sure that the foam looking part of it is just centered on there. I'm going to try not to get my big head in the way. Okay, because of you. It's okay. Maybe I'll put a little, it's a little high, so I'll put a little like gem or something on there. And here I go, getting dirty. Jeez, no matter how hard I try. So there is, that one is stamped because of you. Then I wanted to also stamp, I'm going to get another little piece of red, and I am going to stamp each day is a little brighter. So we're going to do that. Now this one, this with heartfelt thanks, is going to go on the inside on this piece. So I can go ahead and stamp that actually now if I wanted to, which I will. This one I got to try to get it a little straighter. So I am going to see, first of all, how it stamps just on my grid paper and see how straight I am. And again, I am having to not like get my head over that well because I'm trying to stay out of the camera. And that looks pretty straight. So I think if I just go by the same thing, I should be able to get it fairly straight. Gotta ink it up again. I want it nice and inked, but I don't want it globby, of course. So I think I'm going to, oh, I hope I get this straight. Come on, with heartfelt thanks, that goes on the inside. Okay, not bad, a little bit of a speck, but that's not bad. I can accept that. And let's do each day is a little brighter. We're gonna put that on some red for the outside. And I want that to go here. Now I could do it on this same plaid and then just cut it out as a thin strip. Okay, so I'm going to keep it just kind of a narrow band here, like so. Each day is a little brighter. Hopefully it's not too busy of a background so it gets lost. I can always change it if I don't like it. And that is our stamping. Oh no, it's not. I have more. And that is the little flower. I can't forget that, because then we wouldn't have anything to color. So I am going to find that flower again. And here he is. Okay. All right, so the flower can go on the inside, I thought I would do. And could put it a little bit by that. I'll have to see how much room I have. Do I have any room for any images on there? Very little. I'll stamp by it, and if it's there, if I have room when I cut it out, that's good. If I don't, I don't. So it'll be there. I'll try to get it kind of close and so. Doesn't really, I could stamp off and get it on it a little bit. So it's okay, good enough. Then on the inside, I am gonna put it down in the corner of the center of, probably right down there, of the inside there. Okay, with heartfelt thanks. All right, so there's the stamping, and because I'm so messy, like I haven't cleaned any of my stamps, I'll do that in a bit, but I really should be wiping off my hands here. Yep, that's about how I roll. Oh goodness. So I'll just clean my hands off real quick, because I know you guys have gotten to see my little schmearlaps a lot, way too much. And you know, I bet I won't even really need my red markers very much here. But, oh, and I was maybe going to do that on, do I need any more on this? Any more stamping? I got a little wet finger on there. No, that's good. But I did want to sponge a little bit on there. So I'm going to get out a dauber. Yeah, so daubers work really well. Or I would, our blending brushes work great too. I just don't really want my blending brush to have black on it. I don't know, that's just me. So I'm gonna grab a darker one here, and I'm gonna do some sponging on this, because I'm gonna do it around the outside edge just a little bit, and that'll tie in that, you know, kind of tie it together, I guess. Kind of incorporates the red and the black together that way. And just a little bit on the outside. Just adds a little detail. And you can, you know, decide how far in you want to go onto the sentiment area, the center. Try not to get too streaky. And I want to leave a nice bright patch in the center, just so that it's easy enough to read. Okay. Now, one thing I do like to do sometimes is put Versamark on this and then heat it with my clear embossing powder, and that makes it shiny and kind of jump out. And I will show you a sample of that in a little bit. I decided not to do it on this one. This one just isn't quite as glittery and shiny. So I am going to, that's kind of how, that's the start. You can kind of see how it's going to look, right? And then I'm just going to color a little bit onto this, just to kind of make it look colored, I guess. And I'm just going up part way on it. So it's just got a little bit of color on it. And that is enough for that one. So now I'm going to think about my ribbon on here and this sentiment. Oh, that's what I could do. I should have colored on that a little bit. And I'm leaving the ends of it kind of just uncolored even. Just kind of going partially up, and it just kind of has that subtle look. I don't know. It doesn't look like I didn't know how to color. Just kind of looks like it's supposed to be that way. Keeps a little more dimension. My E for each is a little bit lost, but I think it'll be all right. Let's see. We're gonna probably have to cut off a little bit of this flower, but that's okay. I am just going to see. Now this is about, you know, I really don't even need to cut off that edge. I'm just going to cut, I'm going to trim here down to this one side of this flower. And I hope you can see okay. I'm going to trim right around here. And we want it trimmed this way as well. just take a look where we're at. Okay. All right, so each, because it's going to say, because of you, each day is a little brighter. Now I'm going to need to figure out, I'm going to probably put a bow on here somewhere, and I guess I'm going to wait to the end for that to decide where I want to put it. But I think I'm going to start assembling, so I'm going to pull in my black base. Okay, here's our black base. And the next thing we're going to do, you can use the Tombow liquid adhesive, or you can use, I don't know, whatever you want, whatever your favorite is. I'm going to use Stamp and Seal. And this paper has a different pattern on the back. You could maybe choose, maybe that would be the one you'd rather use, but whichever you prefer. And just get it centered on the front there, like so. Seems a little big. Scoot it to the right a little bit. It is kind of a little bigger border than I normally do, but it comes together okay at the end. And this black piece will go over it. It's the exact same size, and I am going to put this one, I think I'll just keep it flat, and then I'm going to pop up the center on dimensionals. So we can do some more adhesive here. This is not the plus. This is just the regular seal. I personally have better luck with this. Most people say the opposite. They prefer the Seal Plus instead of the seal. So it just depends what you like. But this seal is very strong too. It's a nice strong adhesive. And even though this is just a black, another black layer, it does add dimension just to have that other layer, the black on the black. It's got that stitching as well. And I'll put some dimensionals on here. I gotta find them. Okay, now I'm gonna have to finish up a page of them here. Let's put a couple on there. A couple of dimensionals. Ooh, something sticky on there. You know, it would be cute if I would have thought of it, just to have a little bit of the black ribbon behind this. That would look nice too, just to kind of have it stuck down on there. Ooh, that would look nice. Maybe that's what I'll do. What do you think, guys? All right, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll trim it better in a second. So I'm going to just take and tape this down. I could use glue dots. I always like glue dots with ribbon. They just seem to hold really well. So I just put some glue dots right down there in the center. And I'm going to go to one end of this piece that I cut, and then I'm going to trim it in a little bit. I'm trying to eye it so that it looks like it's in the center. And I'm pressing down on those glue dots and trimming here. I'm going to get it to size a little better in a second. Alright, so now we can work on this layer. And we will get this down. Alright, hopefully it'll be straight and in the center. That's what we aim for. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, and I'm going to trim this side a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Kind of want them even. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take that strip on the bottom, and I'll put dimensionals on that as well. I think I might just use this strip here that's at the end on the side. No waste on these, which is nice. And we will put this on here because it goes along with that top saying, because of you, each day is a little brighter. Hopefully it's straight. Alright, and I'm going to be putting a little bling on there. Then the inside piece, I'm going to adhere that. I like the stitched rectangles for this. It just makes it kind of quick, and you know that it's nice and straight and square and all that good stuff. Alright. So we'll get that in the middle and all straight and ready to roll. Okay. Wow, that kind of came together pretty quick. Wasn't too bad. I finally kind of got my act together and got to move on, right? Okay, so I am going to find some bling for this. And I'm going to use, these are, what are these gems called? The Wonderful Gems. And they have red ones, so I wanted the red on there. So I will use probably 3. And let's grab a big one. I'm going to chase it around because I don't have my favorite tool. Here we go. Take your pick tool. There we go. That always makes it easier. And I am going to put one right here in that little space because I thought it was too high, so now that's filled it in. So tricky, right? And I just need one on each of these flowers also, just to kind of dress them up a little bit. And that's kind of at the end of our sentiment there too, kind of anchoring that. Gosh, I'm tempted to put more on there, but with the glitter here, I think we're okay. I might, Wink of Stella would be nice on there too. I don't know. I could do a little Wink of Stella, but Wink of Stella, I usually just do that on like images, but maybe I'll just do it here. A little wash of it. If you do too much, it can smear ink, so I gotta be careful about that. I'm just gonna get this whole medallion piece kind of Wink of Stella. How's that? It's a verb. Okay, kind of really make that pop out. I like that. Pretty. All right, and do I have to do this too? Just a little. All right, here's our finished card, guys. Because of you, each day is a little brighter. With heartfelt thanks, and this is where you would write your little note to them. So that is the first card that I'm showing you using that, what was it called again? Splendor, boy, let me check. All right, I gotta look. Why I can't remember names. Encircled in Friendship bundle, okay? All right, so here is another version of the same card. And this one I used some of this. I used the Misty Moonlight and the new color of ours that is called Fresh Freesia. And the centerpiece here, I did the same thing where I inked around it, but I did do that technique where you just put Versamark all over it and then clear embossing powder and then heat set it. And it just kind of makes it shiny. I used the Sentiment Sending Happy Thoughts. I did do some inking with Night of Navy around the edge of this just to make it kind of an ombre. And that color shows through there. I left the inside blank for now. And so that is another version of the same card. It's kind of similar. And one I made, you know, it's not my favorite. I think I don't mind the layout. I just don't really like the colors as far as, like, this is too much gold. But anyways, this says, with heartfelt thanks, you're the best. A kind of a stretch card, and this meets up. There is a layer of the gold again. And then this is some of our dark green shimmer vellum. It is in the new color of Evening Evergreen. And that has a little bit different paper. This is where you could write your sentiment and it's just kind of a different layout. They kind of match up here. A Z-fold card. Okay, different. I don't know about that one for sure. I kind of like this one. So this one is a similar layout to what we did, but this is a gatefold, and it kind of splits in the middle, but yet this piece is on one side. So it's a gatefold, and it's your day. I just did some inking on a piece of white. So behind here is just a piece of white that I used our new blending brushes, and I just used some lighter colors, a mint macaron, and gosh, I don't even remember some of our lighter colors, a little yellow, and then I just kind of swirled it around. Then I cut this out and put it on top. This is actually some of our shimmer paper, but it doesn't show on camera very well. But then on the inside, what I did for this layer is I put a rubber mat down so it didn't cut out this image all the way. It more embossed it than cut it out. You can see where it did kind of make it kind of cut out a little bit there, but they all stayed in place. And I just kind of wanted an embossed look of that same die. So it's your day, happy birthday. This should not be down there. It must have fallen off. I gotta move that. Can't have this one like lost. And so I have this layer is up on dimensionals over this colored layer. So kind of similar to what we did, only for the gatefold, I put it in place and then I just trimmed it down the center. And then make sure if you're going to do this with the center piece that you only put the adhesive on the left side. Okay? All right, so that was another one. This one is another fun layout with it. The best thing about today is you, and this one is a little different because it opens like that. Happy birthday. So this round piece that punched out of the center of this die is what I used on this side of this folded piece that came in. Then I did also cut out of our Fresh Freesia Shimmer Vellum. I cut out that same shape and adhered that to the inside. And so it's just kind of subtle, but brings some different colors together, with the main colors being that Fresh Freesia and this Bermuda Bay color. So that kind of just ties all that together. Just something different. You'd be able to write all over in here if that was what you needed to, is some space. And it just comes together like so. All right. One more, I think. Yeah. This one is really different. So this is more of like a gift enclosure card. You can do this with a lot of different dies where you can use the die to make a card. And so it's just something you would maybe give with a gift. I did stamp and emboss in white that main image from the stamp set in the center here. And then I just also stamped and put a little Wink of Stella on there. You'd be able to write your message, for like a shower or whatever. And how you do that is you take a folded piece of paper. I will show you here, some cardstock. All right, so you can do this, like I said, with any die. So what I did was, this is what cut it out. You just want to make sure that you don't cut part of your fold. So this was a square folded. I think it was maybe 4x4, 4x4 sheet, kind of cut in half. Why don't I do it with you here quick? So I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. Just kind of doing this on the fly because I think it's easier if you're kind of shown. So you just need it folded. I am going to grab some scissors. This is just real rough to give you an idea how to do this. But just take any cardstock that you want to make a card, and kind of a smaller card out of, depending on your die size, of course. but you would run it through your die cut machine. You want part of this fold to be shown. You don't want to cut off that part. So I would run it through my die cut machine, taped onto here. Now this is 2 layers, so you really have to have a lot of pressure and do it several times, but then it does cut it completely out like that. And so that is how you get, just so that you have some of this folded edge here that does not get cut off. You see it right here. Then you're going to be able to have it be made into a card. I don't know if showing it might help. I can show you that. I'll grab my machine. So you get an idea. I probably won't punch out every little thing and stuff, but I just kind of want you to see how this works. So I am going to use my trusty tape just because I'm going to flip it over again. This is 2 layers of cardstock, so it's a lot to cut through. And I hope you can see this okay. I'm going to tape it into place. The more fold you leave, the smaller it is, but then the, you know, the shorter amount that you have that's connected at the top. So I'm going to just go like that maybe and tape it down, and I'm going to flip it over. Run it through a few times. It's going to get all shaky. Do it again, so hang on. I know it's shaky. It's just shaky. Okay, it should be cut by now. Let's take a look. Yeah, that shows you how it's done. See, it just came right out of there. One little spot that might need a little coaxing. Okay, so that's how you would make a card like that. And then you just have to go through and make sure you get all of these little pieces out of there. And then you have your card front. And that's how I made the other one that I was just showing you that looked like this. You can see, okay? And like I said, you can do that with other dies. You could make a card, you know, like this with the stitching around it or something, and just leave part of your, you would want part of your fold at the top that doesn't get cut, and you can do that with lots of shapes. So it's kind of a fun tip for die cutting. All right, very good. I think that's all I have for today. Let me switch the camera up a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Hi, Mary. Nice to see your name on there again. I appreciate you tuning in. And Cindy, thank you guys. I hope you like them. They're kind of intricate, kind of pretty doily type cards. I really love those. Aren't they fun? So if you have any questions, let me know about if you want to try making these cards or any others. Have a great weekend. I know I'm going to be having a girls' weekend away, so it'll be fun to get together with some of my high school friends. And I hope that you all have a great weekend too, and stay cool. It's just like hotter than hot. Oh, I can't deal with it. How about you? All right, guys, take care. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Bye.